gonna get it right. It's the debate stage. Yeah, I think it's time for us to just turn a new page. Yeah, new age. Yeah, a new day, and everything is going to go just our way. Well, will it? Did you take a pill? It makes you feel dull, the pain and no strain. And I'm here, yeah, like the train, just arrived on time. Yeah, we want to make the dime. Yeah, peace. What's going on, y'all? At least it's going to get signed and everything is going to shine. It's the Daily Go Getimism Show, y'all. Yeah. Yo, what? Yo, it's the Daily Go Getimism Show. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. Last night, we asked who was going to win the debate tonight. Tonight, we going to ask, since the deed is done, since everything that needed to be said has been said, all the words that needed to be spoken have been spoken. Well, how do y'all think it went? How do y'all think it turned out? What's your synopsis? Will it move the needle for one? Will it slow down the momentum for the other? Well. We've been waiting for this moment since late July, all of August and all of that. And it went down. And I don't think it disappointed. It was a good debate tonight. It was a good showing for both candidates. But I think that there was a clear-cut winner of this debate. And I don't really think that who won the debate is debatable. I don't think so. But that's just an opinion. And everybody has an opinion. It's like an onion, maybe like a bunion sticks out on your foot. What we gonna do is soot. S-I-L-T, that spells soot. And this has the same kind of sound as foot. What's going on, y'all? I'm feeling like a real man should. I'm feeling like a real man should. Yeah. I'm feeling like a real man should. It's all right. It's okay. And it's all good. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, y'all, we going to talk about who won the debate tonight. Did y'all see it? Did you have a chance to check it out? If you didn't have a chance to check it out, I don't have any video clips for y'all. I don't really want to mess around with no video clips, especially this early in the, how they say it's too soon. I don't want to run the risk of messing up the stream or, getting any kind of restrictions or violations or whatever, because YouTube is a beast. YouTube is very beastly when it comes to hitting your channel if you decide to get a little too ambitious. But I believe that there was a clear-cut winner tonight. I do. And if you didn't see the debate tonight, you missed a goodie. Now, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be into politics to appreciate two people speaking upon issues and facts and events and who's right and who's wrong. You don't necessarily have to be in politics to find out about a candidate. And speaking of finding out about a candidate, who do you think who did the better job tonight of getting people to know what their position is, who they are as a candidate, as a person? Who do you think did a good job at introducing themselves or reintroducing themselves or presenting themselves? Maybe we should say that. Who do you think did a better job tonight? Who was more prepared? Who do you think was more prepared? Who seemed like they had the inside track or the scouting report, or who had the drop on the opponent? Who had the better rebuttals? Who had the better comebacks? Who played defense better? Like who? Ching, 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 ching. Who did a better job at that? A lot of things happened tonight. I don't think that either candidate, I don't think that either one of them left the stage without any type of respectability. But I do think that there was a clear-cut winner in this situation. But I want to hear from you. And y'all know that the phone lines are open. Yes, the phone lines are open. And I'm going to tell you how to call in and make sure that it's like a big asshole that you're going to fall in. Yeah, the number to call. I'm going to talk about this to all y'all. If you want to call into this show, you can call into this show, and it's totally uncensored. That's the good thing about this. A lot of shows that you call into, they have call screeners, and they have certain things that they will not allow you to say. I don't believe in censorship. That's one thing about me. I don't believe in censorship. You can say it the way you feel it, and you can say it the way you want it to be said, even if it's offensive. If you call in, you can say it. Now, if you write it, YouTube definitely has community standards, and all of that. So they'll bang you for what you write, but you can call in and say whatever you want to say. And the number to call, is 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199, baby. Call 319-527-6199. Press number 1, and that will let me know that you would like to speak. And then I will call you out by the last 4 digits of your telephone number, and you can rock on, and do the damn, do the damn thing. Right now, I'm going to put the phone number into the comments. So if you choose to call in, you can do so. Make sure nobody gets locked out or left out. So that's how it's going down. I want to take care of some family business, right away. I don't want to get too deep in the show. Let me give out some initial shout outs. Let me make sure everybody's taken care of. T. Carey Wright, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Stacy White, what's going on? Holding it down for the D. Yeah, it's you that I see. And Kyla Cock says Trump didn't talk. He barked only nonsense. Wow. And Anna Maria Andujar says Kamala Harris. Scottum says we found out ABC had all the moves. Who me? Says Trump. Patrick says Trump talked about what he did as president. Kamala talked a lot about moving forward. Talked a lot of moving forward garbage. Okay. Dustin Gamboa says Trump. Granny Ann says no brainer. Harris won. James says Patrick. He made a bunch of everyone knows statements and a bunch of bullshit. KJ says the cartels get paid how many times at the border inside the USA, and again when they buy the homes, we can't buy renting them out to Americans. I don't know what that means. Alan, what up? Alan says Kamala, we need to move forward from the current government that I'm VP of currently. James says they're eating dogs. They're eating cats. Bimbo Santos says, who's eating cats and dogs in Ohio? Bo says Trump 2024. Jose Cruz Torres says, what's your body count? KJ says, and who's in charge of border and hasn't done anything for legal recourse? Bimbo Santos says, having abortions after the baby born. What the fuck? Video Enjoyer says Trump got dog walked. Divine Knowledge says you look like a cartoon. I'm about to look like even a bigger cartoon in a minute. Keith Fournier says Trump. James says he literally said they're executing babies. Divine Knowledge. Okay. Mickey Contreras says, yay, Trump #1 back in White House. Praise the Lord. Jose Cruz Torres says, what's your body count? All right, let's get it popping. All right, it's time for me. What we do on this show is we dress a certain kind of way. So if you thought I looked like a cartoon character before, let me put on my uniform. It's time for me to put on my uniform. Here we go. 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 Yeah. put my shit on. All right. So we can get started the right way in here. Get this out of the way early. These are genuine cow bone necklaces. These are not beads. These are cow bones. You know what I mean? You see the texture. You see the texture. That's cow bone, baby. Moo, moo. But I have one for y'all. I got on my uniform. Y'all can choose a uniform. Let's get this over with quick. You have 3 to choose from. Which one do y'all want to wear? The one on the left, the one in the middle, or the one on the right? Let's get it popping. The one on the left, the one in the middle, or the one on the right? Hurry up, hurry up. I said the one on the left, the one in the middle, the one on the right. We got one for middle. Okay. All right, we got one for middle. We don't have a lot of time. All right, Bimbo says left. All right, so that's this one. Right. Okay. Left. We got two. We got a couple of. All right, left. Let me see. Middle. I think we got more for the left. All right, so we got one for middle, 2 for left, 2 for right. Let's get a tiebreaker. This is the left. This is the middle. This is the right. This is the left. This is the middle. And this is the right. Which one? We just need one more. We just need one more. What the fuck are those? Middle? All right. Middle, you pulling up the rear. But if you get one more, you win. You can't vote twice. Bimbo says left, not the right. KJ says mid. Let me see. What y'all got? I just need one more for the right or the left. And it looks mid. Oh, mid that caught up. Now we need a tie. Okay, wait. Mid one. All right. That's the mid. Damn, Mike Jordan voted right. Right might have won, actually. But we're going to go with mid. All right, so I need y'all to stick your neck out. Stick your neck out, my peoples. There you go. Oh, you're looking good. I got the ocular proof. Y'all think I'm doing this just for fun? I'm not. Here we go. Let me show you how you choose to live. All right, here we go. Say cheese. Good shit. Look at that. Looking good. Look at that. Ladies looking pretty, looking beautiful, looking gorgeous, looking sweet, looking lovely. Brothers looking handsome, looking suave, looking debonair. Everybody looking fly. Look at that. You got your good shit on. You know what I mean? Your smooth shit, your soft shit, your Sunday best. Good shit. Take a screenshot, baby. Take a screenshot. I take a screenshot, baby. Take a screenshot. I take the screenshot. I take the. Let's get it popping. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I am your host, Son752, aka Omar with the. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about who won the debate. Who do you feel won the debate? Who got their shine on tonight? Who had the best comebacks? Who had the best plan of attack? Who prepared the best? Who do you think? What's the general consensus of who won the debate? Sector O says Trump. Obe said OBE or Obe says, what the fuck was the point of that? This is how we dress. This is my show, and this is how we do, and people enjoy it. I mean, whether you do or not, I don't really give a fuck. This is your first time here, and this is what we do. So if you ever come back by here, you might not, but if you do, you'll always see me. You know what I mean? You'll see me with my cow bone necklaces, and I think that they're fly. And even if you front, you know what I mean? You can't. The shit is original. It's dope. All right. So Trump won. How? Yeah. Listen, man. One thing about politics is like sports. But the thing about sports is that in a sporting event, there is always a clear-cut winner because we're talking about points. In a debate, it's sort of like it's like battle of the bands. let's say battle of the bands or rap battle. You know, battle rap. I don't know. I'm a big battle rap fan. I don't know if y'all ever listen to battle rap. By the way, I see that we have a caller on the line. Caller with the last number is 1148. I'm going to pick you up in just a second. Just give me a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds. Just give me a hot second, and I'm gonna get you right on. Yeah. And by the way, just because I have somebody on the line does not mean that you can't call in. The lines are open. There won't be any busy signal, you know, or anything like that. When you call in, you'll actually be able to hear the show. So everything is all good. Okay. So Sector O says, how do we call you? 319-527-6199. I'll put the number back in the comments again. But if you scroll up, you'll see it. You call 319-527-6199. So like I was saying, the debate is pretty subjective. It's hard to say for certainty who won and who didn't win. That's why I compare it to sports, because when somebody is your guy, when a team is your team, like in boxing, if there's no knockout, sometimes there's no clear-cut winner. You can say that such and such won by rounds, but if it wasn't a knockout and somebody won by rounds, the rounds might be disputable. Now, I feel like there was a clear-cut winner tonight on the debate stage, but I could understand how somebody would think differently. I can clearly understand how somebody would think differently because that's their guy. And nobody likes to see, it's like going to see your it's like going to go see your child in a play. Yeah, they were the best actor in the play. Or going to go see them play an instrument in a band. Oh, all I heard was you, baby. All I heard was you. I ain't hear nobody else singing. I ain't hear nobody else playing. I didn't hear nothing. All I heard was you. So it's understandable that even if you don't think that your guy lost, you may concede that the other guy was good. Now, I think Kamala Harris fucked Donald Trump up tonight. I do. I think she fucked him up. I mean, he barely laid a glove on her. She definitely seemed more polished. She definitely seemed more prepared. And she knew it's almost like she, you know, he doesn't work with he doesn't work very well with a teleprompter or with notes, or, you know, he's a freestyle artist. So which that kind of makes him unpredictable, but she seemed to know exactly what he was going to say. And she knew exactly how to counter. But he did a pretty good job at cleaning up his act too. So whenever she went in hard, he rebutted pretty well. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but hey, man, you know, you have to give credit where credit is due. So I'm not going to say that she totally demolished him, but she did. She fucked him up. If that was a boxing match, he would be all nicked up and scratched. You know what I mean? The doctors would be having to work on him because he got cut up under the eye. His shit might be closed. They might have had to put the ice on him. He got cut. He lost. But for those who would say that Donald Trump won, listen, I'm interested. The lines are open. 319-527-6199. We're going to talk about this tonight. Do me one little solid. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. We got 9 likes. I know we can get a little higher than that. I know we can get a little higher than that. I know we can get a little higher than that. And Stacey White, I want to thank you for the super chat. Yeah, you know where it's at. I said, Stacey White, I thank you for the super chat. Yeah, you know where it's at. I appreciate the super chat. Yeah, you ain't have to do that, but you did. So I appreciate you, kid. And that's one love. You know, a glove never got landed. You didn't leave me stranded. And I appreciate it. He can love it or hate it, but I'm not one to be debating or whether somebody won tonight. But we're going to talk about it till we get the story right. Fly it like a kite, put it in the sky, bring it down to the air, in the ground. I found a way to get a little better, hit you up and heat you up like a sweater. And don't let a motherfucker see you sweat. Don't let them see you press. Don't let them see you all nervous. All right, let's go. I have a caller on the line. Caller with the last numbers 1148. First of all, I want to thank you for being patient. Thank you for holding on the line. What's on your mind tonight? What's good? Talk to me.
Well, I watched the debate, and I was just sitting there as I was watching the debate, and I was thinking about old saying, words, just words. You know, action speaks louder than words.
Okay.
And Donald Trump, as president, he was put his word into action. Harris, I hadn't seen nothing from her.
Okay. So if we're talking about the debate, yeah,
and the debate she was, okay, but she, like I said, she was just using words. I mean, anybody can say what they're going to do, but to actually do it, and the debate was kind of, to me, was a little even.
You think it was even?
A little even, not a lot.
Well, because, I've never seen anything even in my life. I've never seen a tie in my life, except when something like a basketball game, like a football game, they can be tied, but nothing else in life is even. So somebody had to have won. Somebody has to be the winner and the loser.
It could be even when you said, I agree to disagree.
Okay.
And then you be on even ground.
Okay, well, I'll say it like this. Are you a Trump supporter?
I won't discuss who I'm supporting.
Why not?
Well, I think that's a right as a voter that I have, that I don't have to speak on who I'm supporting.
But I didn't ask you who you were voting for. I said, are you a Trump supporter? You can support somebody and not vote for them. You may have a best friend
I'm a freedom supporter.
Okay. All right, let's ask a different question. Because I think it's strange. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's strange that you would shy away from being a Trump voter or supporter if you really. I mean, why? That it is your right. It's your right to support whoever you want to, and it's also your right to keep it private. But I'm thinking what would be the point in debating whether somebody won or lost, or whether somebody is good or bad, in your eyes if you're not openly supporting them. So I think that's it's different than what I would do. But okay, all right. Let me ask you this. You said that action speaks louder than words. So you feel like the things that Donald Trump has said he has done?
Yes, he built. He got the wall started until Democrats stopped it. He kept us out of wars. Yeah, he's pretty much done what he said he would do, and he didn't back down. I like somebody that doesn't back down.
Wait a minute. What wars did he? So you're saying nobody? Because Donald Trump kicks all of this propaganda. You're saying that there were no wars going on when Donald Trump was president?
No, I ain't saying what none going on. He didn't start no wars.
So what?
How is he didn't start any wars and stuff? I mean,
that's because that's not what he says. What he says is there were no wars going on when he was president. That's what I'm just going by what he says. He says there were no wars when he was president. Is that true or is it false?
Well, I misquoted. I meant to say that no new wars were started.
But wait a minute, you didn't misquote him because you said what he said.
Afghanistan.
Okay.
So I know we was in Afghanistan and that war there was still going on.
All right. Because I'm just strictly going on the action speaks louder than words thing. All right. The other thing you said was the wall.
Right.
So you saying that he built the wall and the only reason he didn't get it finished was because of the Democrats? That's your position?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Once they got in office, they cut the funding for it.
Okay. Now you realize that when Donald Trump proposed the wall before he was elected, how did he say that the wall was going to be paid for?
Well, he said that Mexico would pay for it.
Did he do that?
Well, I'm not that deep into politics.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You know the answer.
Even if the taxpayers pay for it, that's something.
Yeah, no. You said that action speaks louder than words. How did Donald Trump say that the wall was going to be paid for?
He said Mexico.
Okay. Did Mexico pay for the wall?
I just gave you the answer. No, they didn't.
All right. So how does his actions match his words with that declaration?
Well, it doesn't match, but the wall was getting built anyway. Whether we paid for it or they paid for it, and that's something we need. We need the wall.
Okay. So he said that Mexico was going to pay for the wall, and he didn't complete the wall. That doesn't really sound like actions. Yeah, he didn't complete it. I guess he didn't build it fast enough. But he had 4 years.
Well, the Democrats could have kept on building it, but they stopped it.
But I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, but he wasn't going to build the wall. They made him build the wall. They made him get started on the wall because he ran on that. That was the central issue that people voted for him for. And so, but he was going to duck it. Just like he was talking about locking up Hillary Clinton, but he backed out of that too. He backed out of locking up Hillary because he knew he was bullshitting when he said it, and he was going to back out of building the wall too. But they said no, you can't do that. You have to do this shit because nobody really gave a shit about that other stuff that he was talking about. They wanted the wall, so he had to get the wall started. But he knew that the way that he said he was going to build the wall wasn't going to happen. So, now listen, we're supposed to be talking about the debate, and I don't want to discourage you from expressing yourself because you can say whatever you want here, and I want to stand by that. But if we're going to talk about actions speaking louder than words, and if we're going to say that in the debate it doesn't really matter what somebody says, it matters more what they did, well then I think we have to qualify that on both sides. So we need to qualify it on the Kamala Harris side and on the Trump side.
Well, could you tell me, in the debate, she talks about this and that, but she flip-flopped it a lot. I mean, about fracking and other things. She's done a lot of flip-flopping. Okay,
what are some of the things, including fracking, that you think that she flip-flopped on?
Basically, foreign policies, the foreign policy she flip-flopped, fracking, energy, she just done a lot of flip-flopping. I mean, one minute she's saying one thing, the next minute in the debate she's saying something else. I mean, she was well coached, I can tell you that.
Yeah, she did a good job. She was definitely polished. She was, but anybody who thought that she wasn't going to be good had to be fooling themselves. I mean, she's a fucking prosecutor. You're not going to beat that.
Yeah.
Who's going to be better at debate than a damn prosecutor? You can't beat that. Now, Donald Trump is a good debater also, but he's so unorthodox and he's very unpredictable. He's not polished, but he finds ways to impact and get his point across and be influential. I'm not going to take that away from him. So, I don't feel like she slaughtered him, but I do feel like I felt like she was the better debater. And I felt like she answered the questions directly. He definitely never answered a direct question, but he never does. That's one thing he does not do. He will never. If you could ask him yes or no, he will never say yes or no. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but then again, I know what that's about. So I don't know. I think for the people who said that they don't really know her, I think they got to know her a little better, or a lot better than they probably did. And I don't think that they expected what happened to happen tonight, because Donald Trump is sort of like a Superman to some people, and she kryptonited him. She really did. It was kind of impressive, but I'm not saying that he didn't have moments, because he did.
I haven't really heard anything in the debate where Kamala Harris actually said anything that she actually accomplished what the 10 years that she's been vice president.
Well, see, here's the thing. What does a vice president do that they can accomplish? The vice president, even Trump said when speaking about JD Vance, he said like the vice president is only supposed to assist to the president. The president is the boss. So whatever the president tells the vice president to do, that's what the vice president has to do. So the vice president can't have any accomplishments that aren't sanctioned by the president. You know? So, that's you can't really you kind of have to look at Kamala Harris as, you can't look at her as the incumbent. You have to look at her as a new candidate. So the same way that he may say that he's going to do certain things, she's going to say that she's going to do certain things too. But she hasn't had the green light to be able to implement any legislation or any kind of policy, because it's not her job. She's not the boss. Only the president can do that.
Well, how many times has Harris, mentioned in debate that she talked to Biden about policies or anything that might concern her, put her input in? I don't even remember her ever putting input, even in the Biden administration. It's, she's part of the administration, so I think that she should have, which I don't know, I could be wrong about this, have put some input in his administration, but I ain't heard nothing about her even putting any type of input.
Well, I'm sure that she had input. I'm sure that she had, I'm sure she acted as an advisor to him. I'm sure that she had ideas that he probably took into consideration. I'm sure that they've collaborated with some things, but she's not going to get the credit for any type of policy. The president only gets that. Just like when Mike Pence was in when he was the vice president of Donald Trump. Like, what did Mike Pence do? He can't do anything that Donald Trump doesn't get the credit for. Now, sometimes if the president is inexperienced, like I know for a fact that Donald Trump does not understand policy. He doesn't understand foreign policy. He just doesn't. He's not a politician. He's a businessman.
Right.
That's what, and everybody said, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people who like him say that they like the fact that he's a businessman, not a politician. So that's the reason that they think that he could be good for the economy and things like that. I think it's an interesting position because, and there aren't too many areas in life where you would want somebody who doesn't do that for a living to do that for you. Like we say, for people who like Donald Trump, they say, I like him because he's not a politician. And when I hear that, I think that's interesting, because why would I want somebody who's not a politician to do a politician's job? Like, would I want somebody who's not a plumber to fix my plumbing? Would I want somebody who's not an electrician to wire my house? Would I want somebody who's not an auto mechanic to fix my car? I probably would insist that somebody who was an expert in the field of whatever I was paying for to do the job for me. But somehow it makes sense to millions of people that somebody who is not a politician should do a politician's job, and they say that he did a better job. That would be like somebody who never played basketball being better than Michael Jordan. Like, wow, he or she may not be a basketball player, but boy, are they sinking those baskets. Like, it doesn't work that way. But in this case, we've made a big exception. But it is what it is. When somebody is your guy, they're your guy.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to put the fox in the chicken coop either. And when you put politician handling money, that's exactly what you're doing, especially the taxpayer money. You know, and Donald Trump, like this, is more of a businessman, so he pretty much understands more about economy and stuff. But, you know, when you put a politician in the hen house and the money seems to go every way but where it's supposed to be going.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, first of all, what a lot of people don't understand about politics is that politics is all about money. It's not about people. That's the dirty little secret that if more of us understood, then we would really understand how to navigate this thing. Politics is not about people, and I can prove it to you. If anybody thinks that politics
I agree with that. I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you on that part.
But let me ask you this question. What makes you think that a private businessman would be able to handle public funds? What makes you think that a private businessman would be able to correctly allocate and handle the public funds of the people? What makes you, because the two things aren't the same. So what makes people think that?
Well, you wouldn't have big businesses staying in business if they didn't know how to handle money.
Yeah. Okay. But the way the money is handled in private business is way different than the way that money is handled in the public sector.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big difference. Like in private business, the rules are kind of set by me. Like there are some governmental guidelines that I have to abide by. Like, you know, I can't discriminate against people who want to work, you know, things like that. But other than that, like I can require certain things that I may not be able to require in the public sector. For example, in the government, they can't require that we all wear a uniform. In the private sector, you can do that. No, if you want to work here, you have to wear this uniform. I don't care whether you're management or a subordinate. In the private sector, you don't have to report certain ways that you are making money. In the public sector, everything is public. You have to have total transparency. So they're different. There are differences, you know. And in the private sector, you can practice discrimination. It's illegal, but you can do it as long as you make sure.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, you know. So it's a different game. Yeah, you're dealing with money, but the way that you're dealing with money is different. It's like it's the difference between like American football and football. You know what I mean? There's a ball. There's definitely a ball involved that gets kicked, but we don't one we kick it all the time, and one we only kick after a touchdown is made or to get 3 points. So it's a little different. By the way, I want to let you know right now. I really appreciate your call. You know, I appreciate the way that you have your thoughts together. A lot of times people call into the show and they don't really know what they're talking about, and they kind of stumble and fumble over things. But I appreciate you calling in. So I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way before anything else.
Okay. But yeah, like I said, the American taxpayers should know and stuff why money, have a say in where the money goes. They're the ones that's actually supporting the government, even though, which is true, the government owns the money.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
I mean, the IRS can come and take every penny you got and really don't have to give you an excuse for it. That's how the government could be.
Well, the weird thing about the IRS is that it's not supposed to be a governmental. It's a federal It's a federal institution, but not necessarily a governmental institution. It's crazy as shit. Like there's the IRS does not have to be totally transparent. They don't have to tell you shit. And even the government can't make them show their books. And I think that's weird. So they can take money out of your pocket, but they don't have to report anything. But speaking of taxes in the IRS, and I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this well. In 2016, when Donald Trump ran, remember how they were pressing him about showing his tax returns, and he refused. He refused to do it. And remember what I don't know if do you remember what he had to say about the IRS? He said the IRS is a scam. It's a scam, and we're going to get rid of the whole thing. That's what he said. I remember that because I said, "Wow, I agree that it's a scam." But I wanted to see.
The IRS is only supposed to be a temporary organization.
Oh yeah,
it was during the fund Civil War.
I know the whole history of the IRS. That's why every chance I get, that's why every chance I get, I try to avoid paying taxes because it's full of shit. But he said that the IRS is a scam, and when I get elected, we're getting rid of it. Well, how'd that turn out?
Well, you ain't gonna get rid of the IRS. They bring in too much money. They got too much power.
But he said it. He said it.
He can say that, but you know, they just got too much power now. I mean, it's unfortunately for the taxpayer that the IRS got the power that they got. They can come and take your home, your bank account, and don't really have to give you a reason for doing it.
Well, listen, you have to, earlier in this call, we were talking about action speaking louder than words. And that was one of his words. And I thought it was interesting that nobody calls him on that shit. I'm like, where is the tape? Where is the tape? He said that we're going to get rid of it. It's a scam. We're going to get rid of the whole thing. But instead, he worked with the IRS like every president does, and so-called gave tax breaks and all that kind of stuff. But listen, I'm waiting not to have to pay no taxes. I'm like, come on, man, I'm ready.
I'm ready not to pay no taxes either. But since the IRS is so powerful now, and it was only supposed to be a temporary solution to support the Civil War, that now it's out of control. It's just too powerful.
Well, listen, nobody is going to take away the IRS. Nobody takes away anything that makes money hand over fist, especially when it can't be questioned. But I thought it was interesting for him to say that because, and I thought it was more interesting for nobody to call him on that. Like, wait a minute, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Because I would love to see that magic trick. And I also thought I think it's interesting that none of the Democrats ever called him on that. Like, listen, among all the other questionable things that you said and all of the other lies that you told, what about this one? Because I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear, okay. One of the things that was talked about in the debate tonight was Donald Trump brought up the whole student loans thing. He brought up the whole student loans and how they didn't get that done. Well, I don't know who they didn't get it done for, but they did that for me. I had student loans going all the way back to 1993, and they're gone. And I did not pay them all off, but my student loan debt is gone. Got a degree and no debt. So he did that shit. Biden said he was going to do. Maybe he didn't do it for everybody like he wanted to, but I didn't even apply for the shit and I got it done. So I
had a student loan and I paid it all off myself. I paid the government back.
Okay.
But you gotta remember, I'm an old school. I'm a baby boomer, so you're talking about the 80s. Okay.
So I don't know. like I'm glad I didn't have to pay it back.
I'm glad I did pay it back because the way I was raised, if you borrow something and stuff, you're supposed to return it. But that, you know, I'm a baby boomer, so I'm from the old school. If you borrow it, you give it back.
Well, yeah, I believe in that too. However,
you don't take handouts.
No. It's not about handouts because the government takes handouts from you all the time. As a matter of fact, they strong arm you all the time. So I don't have any problem. I'm taking anything back from the government because they get way more. Like whenever I look at, I work. I don't know if you still work, but I do. And so every other week, I see how the government strong arms my check. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem accepting shit from them. So I think that's a little bit displaced pride. So, you know, this whole thing with like,
no, it ain't displaced pride. It's my morals. That's how I was raised.
I think that you should pay if you borrow something from somebody individually. I think you should pay them back. But when it comes to the government, I think the rules have to be changed because as far as I'm concerned, when you tax me, you're borrowing. And you tell me that it's working for me, but you can't prove it. You can't show me anything that you've done for me personally, but personally, you take it out of my check. Unless I make over 6 figures where I can manipulate a way for you not to be able to take as much. But as long as I make under $100,000, then I have to abide by a certain tax code. So it's a little yeah, I have no problem not paying the government back. Fuck the government. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Listen, man, I want to thank you for calling in. I really appreciate you.
Okay.
And
alrighty, well, you have a good night.
You have a good night too. And feel free to call back anytime and listen to the show. Thank you.
I enjoy your show.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Listen, if anybody else wants to call in, I invite you to call in 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. Press number 1, and that will let me know that you would like to speak, and then I will call you out by the last 4 digits of your telephone number. You can say whatever you want to say. Totally uncensored show. Totally uncensored content. You can say it how you mean it. You want to curse, you want to cuss, you want to swear, you can do it right here. You want to holler, yell, scream, you can do it just like a social media meme. And so before I take the next caller, I want to know, so what's the general, I haven't been able to follow the chat as much because y'all really chatting it up a lot. But who won? Who won the debate? Who won the debate tonight? Who won the debate? Did Kamala Harris win? Did Donald Trump win? Was it a wash? You know, was it a push like in blackjack? James says Harris didn't need to be a strong didn't need to be a strong candidate. Ruben Mendez says ABC won. Noah Knox says, what's the number? 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. We have 2 callers on the line. I'm going to take caller with the last number 6867 first, and then caller with the last numbers 5379. Anybody else who wants to call in, you can call in 319-52. Let me put it in the comments. 319-527-6199. Call that number. We can get you on up in here. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope you're feeling like real men and women should. Also, tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about who won the debate. Is it love or is it hate? Who got more stage time? Who said the best lines? Who shined brighter? Who had the writer? Who knew what they were doing? Who was pursuing all of the things and came out kings or queens? who did the things by all means, who shined bright with the lights when they was on the scene, who grabbed the stage and grabbed the mic and said everything that the people would like, who had the best comebacks, the best rebuttals, who did the shit, who tightened it like a buckle, who did the thing tonight. Y'all call in 319-527-6199. Let's get it popping. All right, so caller with the last number 6867. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Feeling like a real man should, man. How about you?
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. On your topic of who won the debate, I gotta admit, I think Harris edged him out, and that's a hard thing for me to say. That's a hard thing for me to say. I think that she met or maybe even exceeded expectations. As much as I think that Trump did not meet expectations. Like, I don't know if she won or Trump lost. Right?
Okay.
I have one because I'm not going to I try not to. Well, I am quantifying myself, right?
Yeah.
My life involves Macon, Georgia, Harlem, New York, and Jamaica.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Good stuff there. I like those three places.
You know?
Yeah.
I like those kinds of people. And the argument that I keep making, like I hear a lot of, and mind you, I generally support, I understand what imagery does for children and what they think is possible, right?
Yeah.
So I think in that regard, this is just the actual image, because, children ain't going to really notice, but they're just going to be like, oh, this person that looks like that is running for president, and that person that looks like that. And if there's an element of, oh, this person looks like me, that might be something that might be fruitful in the long term as a people, yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the problem that Trump ran into. The price of housing has doubled in 3 years. Doubled, literally doubled.
It has.
Right?
I've seen it.
A house that used to cost $230,000 is now cost $400,000.
True.
Right?
Facts.
And he over here talking about Chinamen eating dogs in Springfield. Like, nobody cares, bro. Like, the cost, dude, I keep harping on this. Like, I was talking to some fellas on 250 the other day, right? And they're giving me all this inspirational shit. And I'm like, brother, how much is the cost of eggs?
Yeah, right.
Right now, the dirty eggs in New York is running for $8. The dirty ones. I ain't talking about the cage.
Are you serious?
Price, you know what I'm talking about?
I thought eggs was high last year and they went down this year. Damn.
I'm sure they did. Right now, if I leave the house and go buy a pack of eggs, I'm bringing $10 with me, bro.
Wow. Okay.
Like, if I literally leave the house to go get eggs, and even we used to be able to get down in like Macon and them places, you used to be able to get a dozen eggs for $2, $3. You know what I mean? And like good eggs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The way this thing has, dude. I mean, I don't even drive. Obviously, I live in New York. But every time I leave town, I'm like, how the fuck do people afford gas?
Yo, man.
Like, it doesn't make. I mean, I understand the emotional victories and I understand the symbolic victories, right?
Yeah.
But for a man trying to run a household, this has to stop.
Well, see, that's.
Like, I mean,
no, you're right. Like, the thing I have against Donald Trump is that, first of all, I don't like all the fear mongering. I don't like that shit. I don't like it either. You know what I mean? That shit is a drag. It's a drag, and because whenever somebody tries to concentrate or get me to concentrate on something fearful, then I'm thinking like, so what are you trying to distract me from? Because
I understand.
And the other thing is, he doesn't understand the common problems of the common man. He just doesn't. I
disagree with you on that one, brother.
Okay.
I disagree with you on that one.
Okay.
Brother.
All right.
I disagree wholeheartedly with you on that one, brother.
All right. Tell me how he can relate to the common man.
This is my lived experience. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is my lived experience. Right? This ain't I ain't got no charts and no graphs.
Okay, let's go.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When Donald Trump was in office, right? My job and my reasonably good, I wouldn't say very good. I mean, we ain't riding no bet, you know what I mean? Because I'm not, we ain't going nowhere. We regular middle class people trying to maintain being middle class people. My literal job was finding better, because Trump let out a whole bunch of people out of prison, a whole bunch of black people out of prison. Obama did the speeches, Trump did the work.
Obama didn't get anybody out of prison?
Obama, I'm not saying he didn't. He did that whole thing where he did he changed the sentencing of drugs, like the cocaine.
That wasn't major.
Under Biden.
That wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't major. It was a thing.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, when Trump came in, Trump gave out blanket, just leave. If you've been here for a certain amount of time, just get out. Like it was a bunch of older folks, a whole bunch of black people, right? And my actual job was finding these people housing.
Okay.
It got to the point where we had so many black folks. I mean, let's just make it black, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had so many folks getting out of prison. My actual job, we was hiring all the time, just trying to find places to put all of these people getting out of jail.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was my job.
Okay.
So when we get into this whole, he don't understand the struggle of individual people, having somebody in jail and having somebody in your community who can contribute to your community. Come on now.
I disagree. I disagree.
In what sense?
Okay. So, okay, hold on. In this sense. Okay. So he let out a bunch of people. He pardoned a lot of people. That's the word for it, right? Yeah. He pardoned a lot of people. Okay. That's great.
Commuted and pardoned.
Commuted sentences and well, when you commute a person, you don't release them. Only way they can get released is if you pardon them, because you can commute it from death to life.
And 10 years, and I commute the sentence to 5. We'll just let you out because I understand, bro.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
So so if you're letting out people for certain crimes, because hopefully he wasn't letting people out for violent crimes. It
was people that were convicted under the Biden-Clinton drug policy.
Okay. All right. So if he let people out under the Biden, well, all right. All right. Let's go into this whole 94 crime bill thing, because a lot of people don't understand this 94 crime bill thing. But before I get into the crime bill, let me finish my thought on what you were talking about. When we're spending all of our time releasing criminals or people who are incarcerated, how does that affect the other person that hasn't committed any crimes, that has struggled out here without committing crimes? Absolutely. That's struggling. Absolutely. So while we screaming hello, while we screaming hooray, look, he let all of these niggas out of jail, and you know what I'm saying?
There's no argument I'm making, because brother, remember the conversation started when you said, "What has he done for people without?" And I'm telling you, having somebody else in the house, even just to mow the lawn, is an improvement on your living.
I don't think
having more people to help.
I don't think he did that in the interest of the people. Now, that doesn't take away from their benefit, but I don't believe that he did that in the interest of the people. But one thing about Donald,
brother, that is the problem. That is the problem that we're going through. That is the problem we're going through. We're looking for symbolism as opposed to reality. I don't care why he did it. I don't care why I got that job, and I don't care why them brothers got out of jail. I don't care why eggs was $2 and gas was $2. Right now, them shit is $8 and $5. I don't care. I don't need an emotional victory to be like, hey, look at me, and I pay my bills, but there's a black woman president. I don't care.
Okay. All right. I
think that's what folks is not getting. I don't need emotional victories, bro. I'm too past that.
I need
somebody that's gonna. All right.
I'm not talking about any emotional victories, but when certain things happen, they have to be put into a certain context, because. All right.
They open up them borders. They open up them borders because they know a Democrat is a Republican waiting to happen, and they're running out of Democrats. Any person that pays taxes at some point is going to realize, holy shit, I'm paying for more than what I'm supposed to be paying for. So they flooded the country with a whole bunch of people that's going to need a bunch of assistance, and that assistance is guaranteed by the Democratic.
Yo, my man. Do you know that there are way more registered Democrats than Republicans? There's no reason why Democrats shouldn't win every single election. They got it on. Wait a minute. That's the reason. Wait a minute. That's the reason why Republicans always try to suppress the vote, because line for line, person for person, they can't win.
Of course, but brother, we have an electoral system, not a direct hire system.
Even with the electoral system, they wouldn't win if everybody voted. They wouldn't win.
Here's every election in America right now, and honestly, if you actually get down from issue to issue, I am a Democrat. Like, I've had conversations with people when they say, "How you feel about this? How you feel about that? How you feel about this?" And I'm not on some retro, God forbid, apologist kind of argument. I'm not on that. Like, I ain't gonna sit here and I don't know what's your boy's name. I ain't know none of that. I hear you. I'm talking about my lived experience, and my lived experience under Biden-Harris has not been as good as it was under Trump. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Shit was popping. Shit was popping under Trump, bro.
How? What was popping? What was popping?
What do you mean? Who needed a job under Trump?
What are you talking about? You need a job all the time. I work too.
No. Of course, brother, but what I'm saying is there was a lot more opportunity.
No, there weren't. There were not more. There were not more jobs. Listen, I can't let you do this. There were not more job opportunities under the Trump administration than the Biden administration. That's false. That's totally false.
So you're counting the millions and millions of jobs that was destroyed when they decided to shut down the world.
No,
that's what you're.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. Under the not that it was his fault, but under the Trump administration, in my field, they were paying a certain amount of money for what I do. Period. Okay. And I'm talking about pre-pandemic. So everything before 2020. Absolutely. So I'm talking about 2019, 2018, and 2017. Hold on. Now, under the one of the things that happened under the Biden administration immediately was that I got an increase in my field, and they didn't have to do that. But not only did I get an increase in what I do, but my entire staff and my entire industry, they all got.
They gave you a $1 raise and everything went up by $4.
I'm not talking about. Listen, my man. I'm not talking about $1 raise. Yeah, I mean, look, I make decent. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that everybody. We didn't get $1 raise. We didn't get a $2 raise. We got significant. Like somebody who was making $15 an hour, now they're making $19 an hour.
Yes, and somebody that was paying $3 for eggs are now paying $8.
Now they can afford it. We talking. Wait. Oh, well, listen. Simple math. $1 an hour. $1 an hour is $40 on a 40-hour work week. So if you make $4 more an hour, how much is that? That's $160. I think you can afford the eggs now.
Brother, the argument I'm making is if you get a 15% raise and everything goes up by 30%, how have you won?
You won because you're making more, because you're still ahead of the curve. Nothing is.
You're not ahead. If you're trying to buy a house in America, as of 3 years ago, the price of a house has went from $230,000 to $400,000. No one has had their income doubled in the last 3 years. The price of gas has gone up by about 50%. The cost of car insurance has gone up by 60%. The cost of power has gone up by nearly 70%. So this 25% raise that you think you got is really a 20% loss.
No, it's not. because
Have you been to the grocery store, brother?
yes, I go to the grocery store a couple of times a week, and I own 4 vehicles. Yeah.
Okay.
So I understand. And hold on. A lot of this stuff is bullshit because I hear people talking about how gas was so cheap under the Trump administration, but people have very short memories. Gas was $3 plus a gallon during the Trump administration, except for 2020, when the pandemic was going on. That's the only time gas was cheap. So and people kill me with this short-term memory and this selective memory shit. The only time that gas was hold on. The only time that gas was cheap was during the pandemic. And guess what? Food was going up too. And like, I don't know about you, but I like chicken wings. And chicken wings have been high as shit for the last 10 years. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Yes,
that's a cultural problem. It's the same.
It's not a cultural problem. Everybody eats chicken wings.
Demand for chicken wings and oxtails have gone out. That's why no.
Oxtails is one thing. Oxtails are one thing. Chicken wings. Everybody eats chicken wings. Everybody eats chicken wings.
No, everybody.
It's not a black thing.
Right now, thighs are cheap as thighs are dirt cheap right now.
They've always been dirt cheap.
I discuss milk, bread, and eggs.
Thighs and drumsticks and quarter legs have always been cheap. But wings have been high for years.
So do you have an explanation for why eggs cost so much?
Yes. I haven't. Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why eggs and all food is high, and I'm going to tell you why it's going to stay high.
Mm.
When
it's Trump's fault.
No. Hold on. This is. Okay. Listen. One thing about me, I can't blame one man for everything. Just like I can't give.
We can blame everything on the devil.
No. We're not doing that. The same way I can't blame everything bad on him, I can't give anybody 100% credit for making things better. But this is why food is high. And this is why everything is high. I want y'all to pay attention to this because this is so simple that it's going to ring in your mind like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Okay. Mm-hmm. During the pandemic, the excuse that was given was that the excuse that was given for raising the prices on everything was that COVID was so bad that the people in the distribution they all were sick, so you didn't have anybody to get the product to the stores, right? That was the excuse. Mm-hmm. So they had to raise the prices of everything, right? Even though they were some of the only businesses that were even open. So it didn't match. You know what I mean? It didn't match because you're the only one getting paid. Everyone in other industries that weren't considered essential, they weren't open for business. They had to just starve or depend on the government, right? The food industry, including restaurants, were open for business because they could be, but they raised their prices. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me.
I'm just making up. We're just agreeing on something. We can agree that 95% of the food in America comes from America, right? So this is a domestic problem.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. You know, I mean, if you look on the box or the packs of a lot of shit, you see China, you see Singapore, you see Chile. No, I wouldn't say 90%. But even
Campbell's, Kellogg's, and Dole, most of the food in America comes from America.
If that's the food that you eat, if that's the food
of the world.
All right. Just let me finish this thought. So the food industry was their excuse for making the prices higher was that it was costing more to get the food to the stores. So once the pandemic, so they had the prices very, very high, and they were making money hand over fist because they were the only businesses that were open. And they were making money through Uber Eats and DoorDash and deliveries from the grocery stores and all of that shit. Now, so they were making money. So, you know, whenever you start making money at a job, if you're making more money than you ever have, you get used to a certain lifestyle, right? Like before I could only afford maybe to drive maybe like a Toyota Tercel, a Corolla, something like that. Now I can drive a Benz. I'm just saying.
I can see you like cars.
Because it's an easy analogy that anybody can understand. Before I could only afford a Corolla, now I can afford a Benz S-Class.
Mm-hmm.
After the pandemic is over, do you think that I'm going to lower my prices to whereas I can only afford a Corolla again? When nobody else, wait a minute, wait a minute. When nobody else, none of the other food chains, none of the other suppliers are lowering their prices because we all driving Benzes. We're not going back to driving Corollas. You know why we're not going back to driving Corollas? Because nobody stopped buying from us when we could only afford to buy Corollas. Now that we're driving Benzes, everybody is still paying. Why should we lower our prices? If anything, we're going. Wait a minute. If anything, we're going to collude together and nobody lower their prices lower than maybe here, but we're not going back down here. Only here. So people can bitch and all of that shit, but business is business. We all driving Benzes now, and we ain't driving Corollas no more. And y'all ain't going to stop buying from us. So we have no incentive. Now, if one of us comes in like a Home Depot or like a Walmart and drops the price on everything because they control all manufacturing, then we got to play ball. But since nobody is going to do that, we're not lowering our prices. That's why the price of food is high. That's why the gas price. The oil companies have been shitting on the American public for how long? The first time we saw prices of gas go up was during Hurricane Katrina. That was the first time I've ever seen gas prices go over $3 a gallon. And they kept fucking with that with the terrorists, with the terror alerts. Remember that we used to have the terror alert of the day? Yeah, they kept using that as an excuse to keep the gas high. And they're still doing that.
Okay, here's the flaw in your argument. Here's the flaw.
Okay.
I'm tearing it apart right now because what you're saying sounds good, but it makes zero sense in reality, right? The problem with what you're saying is all food in America is subsidized. All farms in America are subsidized. There's not a single farmer out here that does not get a check from the government, including Dole, including Purdue, right? So the government has the ability to affect how much food costs. That's why it's subsidized. America can never have a version of a year where there's no corn. Regardless of whether or not there's a drought, regardless of whether or not such and such closes or such and such closes, those things are guaranteed by the government. Mm-hmm. Every farm in America is subsidized. Mm-hmm. Like that is the beginning of where your argument fell apart, right? So now we understand that every farm once you register a farm in America, right? Mm-hmm. You get a check. You get a check. Once you register a farm in the United States of America, you get a check because America guarantees its food. Mm-hmm. America is not an economy that is going to allow to decide, oh, we had a bad crop one year, we're not going to have potatoes. Mm-hmm. That's not reality. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So if we understand that the government has this amount of control over this economy, right? Because what Kamala Harris is actually stating right now is, she's now going to use the government to affect the subsidies that the government gives these farms and these large farming agro businesses. And so they're finally saying that, now we're going to put pressure based on how much subsidies we give them in terms of how much they're going to cost people. Why didn't they do that? Okay. My argument is, eggs are $8, and eggs are still $8, and you're not going to tell me that next year eggs are going to come down? Make that make sense.
Wait, let me ask you this. You said that the farms are subsidized, right? So
every farm in America is subsidized.
All right. How about the grocery stores? Are they subsidized?
Well, the grocery stores, that's a different monster because now we're dealing with.
Do we buy from the farm? Does the consumer buy from? Does the consumer buy from the farms, or do they buy from the grocery stores?
Well, obviously they buy from the grocery store, but based on the price from the farm is what the grocery store is going to charge them. America has lemon laws. They have gouging laws. You can't just pick a price for a consumer good that is subsidized by the government. That doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
Flour costs the government decides how much flour costs. The government decides how much milk costs, how much cheese costs, how much bacon costs.
Oh yeah.
Within a certain parameter, the government
Exactly, a certain parameter. Thank you. So because wait a minute, but evidently, the grocery stores are working within that parameter. They're not exceeding the parameter. But the grocery stores can charge whatever they want for the groceries. Yes, they can, and they have been, and so can the gas stations, and they're doing it.
Okay, let's accept that premise, right?
Uh-huh.
If the government can see that, okay, these people are charging $8 for eggs, and the government is subsidizing them to have people pay $8 for eggs, why would the government pull out its money? They're already making it. Like you said, they went from Corollas to Benzes. If the government can see that they've gone from Corollas to Benzes, why are they still subsidizing them?
We're not talking. You're talking about the farms, and I'm talking about the grocery stores.
The conversation is about Kamala Harris and the Biden.
You're talking about the farms. You're talking about the farms, and I'm talking about the grocery stores, because it's the grocery stores that are screwing us, not the farmers.
No, I support the farmers. I'm not getting into that, and I understand that the grocery store is the last part of the economic.
Well, those are the ones who are price gouging us, and there's nothing the government can do about it. And they haven't done anything about it, and they're not going to do anything about it.
Purdue, Nelms, and Dole have made more money in the last couple of years than they've ever made. Everyone is making money. It's not just Kroger making money.
We don't buy from Purdue and Dole.
Is making stupid money.
We don't buy from Purdue and Dole.
Did you follow the Kellogg strike last year?
Yes.
Do you know how, like, everybody was talking about how much money folks is making at UPS? Do you know how much money you will make at Kellogg right now?
Listen, dude. My point is, I'm telling you why food and gas and certain things cost more money.
Yeah.
That's it. Private business can price things the way they want, and they're not gonna bring down the price of things if you still keep buying it.
If you're willing to pay $8 for eggs, nigga, I'm gonna sell you $8 eggs.
Well, I don't I don't eat dairy. I don't eat milk and cheese and all that shit. But I get it. But I get it.
Knows what an egg is. Yeah, but here's the question I have for you, brother.
All right.
What did you hear tonight that said that the Harris administration has what plan did she have to get eggs down to $5-6? I didn't hear none of that. What plan did she have to lower the cost of heating, housing?
I didn't hear
the cost of insurance.
Lower
the cost of housing. Mm-hmm. Like I'm saying, I understand the whole Donald Trump is the boogeyman, and I get that. I mean, and that's a great argument for unsophisticated children. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, no one is bigger than America, and regardless of what happened on January fucking 6th, which was absolute disgrace, we had a transfer of power. You know what I mean? So this idea where Trump is just gonna, first of all, it's an ain't no 80-year-old man becoming dictator. I'll be like, come on now, let's act like adults.
Oh yeah. Oh well, he seems to have done a lot of things that people didn't think he could do.
I understand that, but what are they going to do? What did Harris? Here's where Trump. I'm telling you, Harris won the debate. Like the original argument is who won the debate.
That's what the whole show is about, and I think that Kamala Harris fucked him up in that debate. She killed him.
Dude, I'm just bringing it around.
She did. She fucked him up.
No. I'm not. Of course, I already said she won the debate.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I don't know if you were listening earlier in the show, but I mean, yeah, she beat him. I mean,
I give you, she won, but I'm telling you why she won the debate. The reason she won the debate is because she went on a rant about immigrants.
No, she didn't go on any rant. She didn't go on any rant. One thing that she did.
Trump went on a rant.
Oh, but I mean, he doesn't answer questions. He's too unorthodox. He's not polished. He doesn't have any polish. But he normally pulls a rabbit out of the hat, though. He does. He normally pulls a rabbit out of the hat.
I don't think she's ready. Having seen the debate, I still don't think she has the gravity for the job.
I do. Better than him. Gravity, I think it's better. I think she could do the job better than him.
In terms of gravity, Trump has gravity.
What gravity? What is? Wait. Let me make sure I understand what you mean. What is gravity? What do you mean he has gravity?
Gravity means when you look at a group of people and say we're going this way, are they going to follow you?
Okay. So you don't think she has that?
I don't think she has. No, I think she has the emotional connection, and I think that people want these things. But in terms of her saying, here's the thing with Kamala Harris. You've never seen people disagree with Kamala Harris. People disagree with Trump all the time, and he says, "This is what the fuck we're gonna do."
You never seen anybody disagree with? Come on, dude. Come on, man.
What if they disagree with Kamala Harris about?
Immigration. Her policies. When she was a prosecutor in San Fran?
Their response to her failure in immigration is what? She just wasn't up.
You said nobody disagreed with her.
No. They acquiesced. They did not disagree. They were just like, oh, well, she just can't do it.
Who said that?
Like, for example, I'm going to say this, right? Last summer in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a town in Queens, right? And this is the layout of New York. I don't know, but everybody works in Manhattan. You do your thing in Brooklyn, and when you get older, you move to Queens, right?
Right.
Queens is like an actual suburb of the city. Like it's just.
I live in Philly. I live in Philly. I'm in New York all the time. I get it. I know the landscape.
Where you go when shit is going good. You got a good job. You got married. Had a couple of kids. You moved to Queens, right?
Yeah, if you want a house.
The border situation got so bad that there were hookers out in the broad daylight while kids were walking home from school. Like that's the part that folks don't. I mean, they talk about the Roosevelt Hotel and everything. They don't talk about the actual lived impact that this migrant crisis is having on. Imagine your kids walking home from school. There were whores out at 2:30 in the afternoon. I've been in New York a long time. I ain't seen that since the 80s, bro.
About to say, because don't act like that. Don't act like that's something new. Don't act like that's something new.
It's something new. I'm telling you, I ain't seen it since the 80s, bro.
You ain't seen it since that.
Out at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Because
when have you ever been to New York and seen whores out at 3:00 in the afternoon?
Well, I'm saying we grew up with that shit. You know what I mean? But how is this? How is this all of this is? Hold on, but I thought the immigrants was. I thought the immigrants was taking our jobs. So was our jobs hooking?
Well, no. First of all, I'm talking about the standard of living right now.
Come on, man. Ain't no fuck. Listen, I can't. This immigrant shit. I can't go with. I can't. Listen, our neighborhood's been fucked up. The black neighborhood's been fucked up. They ain't never been good. So I mean, so when black people acting like immigrants are coming into our neighborhoods and fucking up our neighborhoods, we need to cut that bullshit out. Come on, dude. Come on, we gotta stop that. Listen, black neighborhoods ain't never been good. I'm sorry. The hood ain't never been good. The hood ain't never been good. The hood ain't never been good. It ain't never been safe. And I'm not gonna put that on no goddamn immigrants.
I'm not putting anything on immigrants. I'm gonna leave you with this, brother. All right. First of all, great conversation. I love a rowdy debate. Because my whole stance is even if I disagree with someone, I can disagree with someone, understanding that we both want a better America.
Okay. Right? Yeah, that's cool.
So in that regard, you know what I mean. It's okay to have a debate on which direction to go because I think we're both hoping to go. Our direction is the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a construction business down in Macon, right?
Okay. Listen, man. Listen. I have other callers on the line. I gotta have you wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, I haven't seen any real answers from Harris. I understand the emotional and the what they call it, the kind of the goody feels of having a so-called black woman run the country. But at the end of the day, I haven't heard anything that is going to make life actually better aside from some emotional victories. And until she gets to the part where she can tell me how and what is the thing that we're going to do to get gas down, price, and the cost of a housing down, emotional victories ain't cutting it, bro. But anyway, love the show. I'm going to definitely subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to check you out.
Appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that. Thanks for that subscription. All right. Good looking. Here's the thing. I'm going to take caller with the last numbers 5379 next, and then 7797. Here's the thing. For when I was saying that the black hood has always been fucked up, it's true. But y'all have to understand where I'm coming from. I grew up in the crack and the AIDS era in the 80s. That's when I was a teenager. So whatever y'all seeing out here now, we saw it triple, quadruple times worse. All of this shit with the opioid crisis and all of that, trying to blame immigrants for the crime problem in this country. I'm sorry, I can't go for that shit. Because where I come from, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This shit is hood. Not all. It's not. I'm so desensitized to violence and drugs and all of that shit. I don't see it the same way other people see it. Now I understand how people who are used to maybe a more suburban, safer, I don't have to lock my door at night type of thing. I can understand their concerns. But where I'm from and where I've frequented, there has never been anything more than crime and poverty and destruction and bullshit and inequality and disenfranchisement. There's never been anything except for that. So not saying that everybody was that way, but we had enough of it to whereas, and we still have enough of it to where we can't say that Juan is making this shit happen or Paco or Eduardo. No. It ain't. They ain't. If anything, they're adding to the tally. Because on the block that I live on, the hustlers are all up. They on the block, and guess what? None of them are immigrants. They all grew up around the way I watched them grow up. I watched them grow up graduate from school right to the block. No high school diploma. That don't have nothing to do with no immigrants, and ain't no immigrants selling drugs around my way. None. And they're not in the crime that I'm used to and have always been used to is black on black crime. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm pro-blacker than a motherfucker. I love my brothers and my sisters. I don't fuck around when it comes to my black people, but I'm not going to lie for them. I'm not going to lie for them because they will always tell the truth on me. So it's just like when you try to hide your little family business. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, your family business as far as who might have a mental problem or who is a pedophile or some shit like that is going to come out. So for everybody talking about something, these immigrants coming across the border and they raping and killing and all of that shit. It was raping and killing. This country was born on raping and killing and murder and all of that shit. Man, stop it. Stop that shit. You know what I mean? We're not doing that. All right. A little rant is over. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all still being here. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. All right, it is what it is. What's the call-in number? 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. As promised, I'm going to take the caller with the last numbers 5379. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. I appreciate you holding on. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
What's up, brother? This is that dude who made the Henway joke. Alvin Jake. Oh.
Say it again.
How you been? I made that Henway joke the other night, man.
Oh, yeah. I thought the number looked familiar. What's up, man? What's going on?
Yeah, and then I talked about property, my disagreements with Will. Once again, I'm going to take a position that wants to break away from this binary on who won the debate. Because this is how I see it. If we're truly debating with one another in good faith, our goal is to reach closer to the truth. Our goal is not to win. When we see it as a win, we see it as a possession, part of our pride, all this other bullshit. And when we see these poor faith debates by both ruling class parties, we should understand right away that they're not serving us. Who won the debate does not matter, but who really lost was us, the people.
Okay. Well, in a debate, there has to be a winner and a loser. That's just the way it works.
That's how it works in this system. With the Democrats and Republicans, sure, there is a winner. But when me and you were talking, or when you were just talking to that last person,
Right.
Hopefully people aren't coming in being like, I am unmovable. I'm not able to change my position. That is bullshit. That's not good faith.
Right. Well, that was me and the other caller, just like me and you. This is just an exchange of ideas, but this is not a debate. That was a debate. That was a debate where, you know, I don't know if when you were in school, did you ever take a debate class?
Yeah. I was in debate club, and I've come to realize that competition bullshit of trying.
Why do you think competition is bullshit? Don't you think competition can be constructive in some ways?
I think there can be friendly competition, but not competition that deals with the well-being of thousands, millions of Americans, globally, billions of people. Because this is why I say that we, the people, have lost. No matter what here, we've seen the advancement of privatization of everything. Under Trump, huge privatization of public access things. Project 2025 pushes to privatization of schools. It's been big ever since the hurricane in New Orleans, since Katrina. Before Katrina hit, there was, I think they say, like 90% of the schools were public funded. Post Katrina, about 75% of them were private funded. Everything is going up into the market for privatization. This happened with North American Free Trade Agreement. So now, you know, food became more privatized. USDA let go a lot of things and completely privatized Mexico, turned it into a colony. Today, there was a lawsuit. Pepsi sued 2 farmers in India for using the same patented seed that Lay's potato chips use, because they use the same seed, because they patented the seed. They're getting sued by billionaires. An American company is suing 2 peasant Indian farmers because they're using the same patented seed of potato. No matter who wins this election, we're going to see the advancement of neoliberalism and the rich line their pockets. We have to break away from this mold and imagine something different and new. Like right now, we know that Kamala Harris and Trump's program, when it comes to Palestine, is the same exact thing. Is that billions of dollars into advancing military projects. And it's not simply just to kill the Palestinian people, but it's to advance technology. It's supposed to increase surveillance, battle tested. Any fucking gun or any fucking gear the cops have, they love, saying it's battle tested. It was battle tested on Palestinians, and one day it will come to the American doorsteps too, when the class dynamics become sharper.
All right. So we know that politics is about money, right?
100%.
All right. So the money is going to move no matter what. There's no way that we're ever going to be able to reverse that system, because I mean, people kind of like it the way it is. We've been conditioned to accept the way that it is, and people who step outside of it, let's say like a poor righteous teacher or something like that, people don't listen to that shit. One of the reasons why Donald Trump is so popular and that he has so many followers is because he's rich. People listen to people who have money. People don't listen to people who don't have money. They tease people who don't have money. Like, oh, you so smart. How come you don't have any money? If you're so smart, why don't you have a place to live? If you're so smart, why aren't you successful? If you're so smart, why you always got your hand out? If you're so smart, why aren't you a professor somewhere? If you're so smart, why haven't you figured out a way to do better? So even though your financial success should not be a measurement of your intelligence, people are always going to consider you to be smarter because you're able to do something that they want to do, which is be financially affluent. So people with money will always get people's attention. Always. They always have, and they always will. I
don't even find that to be the case. 40% of Americans do not vote. That is registered voters or people who can register. That's not including felons. That's not including youth. That's not including immigrants. So about 50% of Americans do not vote.
Right.
I can tell you right now that the vote for Kamala Harris or for Donald Trump will not change the conditions of my reservation. The only things that will change the conditions of the reservation that I live on is that if the people start taking care of their own lives, if they're able to produce their own food, if they're able to take care of a medical system inside of their own hands. And I know that we are in a capitalist country, and I'm not even advocating for anarchism or communism or anything like that. What I'm advocating for is self-determination on the smallest scale. We must be able to at least organize ourselves in ways that we are less dependent and less forced into this slavery. And I'm not saying, rich people don't have attention and shit. They do. They have the control of the media. Mass media is owned by 3 major companies. Of course, rich people are going to be in the news, but that shouldn't even matter. What matters is building what we can in our communities. And then our communities can be diverse. There can be a Black nationalist community. There can be a Lakota nationalist community. There can be Appalachian hillbilly nationalists, like back in the day during the Rainbow Coalition. Our communities don't need to be large or powerful or anything like that. They just have to be just. We have to figure out what justice looks like within our own community. If we want to, just look at what, like, win or loss on this debate, there's a few key things that I feel like that have to be talked about.
Wait a minute. First of all, wait a minute. Let me ask you this. Did you watch the debate?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Continue.
There's a few key points that need to be talked about in the debate. This is what a lot of the MAGA folks, the Republicans, keep saying. They keep saying Kamala Harris keeps flip-flopping from her once radical positions. She's not principled on her positions. Part of that is true. Tim Walz put $100,000 into a defund the police organization in Minnesota through a grant. He put $100,000 into this group. But this is also the same man who put a $500,000 bonus into the Minneapolis Police Department and then signed ties with Israeli surveillance agencies for the state of Minnesota. He's creating 3 new National Guard bases within Minnesota too, like Cop City in Atlanta, South Cop City, that stuff. There's going to be over apparently 53 of them across all of America. So he's here for advancing the police, but he will show face and say some things like, oh, we need community justice, we need community policing, etc. But all that means is funding more local police. So there is flip-flopping. Kamala Harris will, or Walz, both of them will say, hey, we have to end Israelis' genocide on Palestinians. But they will both still sign with AIPAC, American-Israeli, PACs. They'll still take money from ethno-nationalists. Then the thing with Trump is he just mostly said bullshit. If people want to understand the importance of immigrants in America, they have to understand the relationship with labor. ICE signs a certain amount of immigrants into different farms, into different meats, and different factories, and when they can get rid of them, they do. The reason why the ICE is so important for the American economy is that they do want cheap labor. The American economy wants cheap labor. The capitalist doesn't give a shit about the white man or the black man. What they want is the labor that can be exploited the most. That's what they want. But they also need a loyal base of Americans. So they can only let in some immigrants so they can exploit that labor, then ship them back out. Meanwhile, they're pumping up this nationalist mentality, this fear-mongering of immigrants, when really the capitalist does not give a shit about us. They just want cheap labor. And at the same time, we're seeing an advancement of right-to-work movements that are here to abolish unions within America. So American wages can start to be squeezed too. This neoliberal, capitalism can privatize anything and destroy anything it wants. This has already hit the third world. The boomerang effect is just coming back to America. The beast or the roost, what is it called? The hen came to roost or whatever. That's what's happening now. And it doesn't matter who is elected.
Okay. So with all that being said, don't you think that two things can be true at the same time? Like, we can talk about politicians who want to defund the police, but I mean, that's actually not a reality. And defunding doesn't mean what a lot of people think that it means. Like, it sounds like you're taking money and taking all the money away from them, but that's not what it means. But you know, a lot of people aren't going to look up the meaning of certain terms because they think they already know the meanings of it. But even if you say defund the police, it doesn't mean that the police will no longer exist or will no longer get funding or will no longer be able to.
What I'm saying?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. What I'm saying is there's no way politicians can exist without the police. That's who transports them. That's who protects them. This the security force. So it doesn't make any sense. But there's a difference between regulating being against police brutality or police corruption and being against all police. And a lot of times people get the two things messed up. They think that any regulation that you put on police is like taking totally taking the leash off of them and letting them be totally corrupt and violent. And that's not what that means. So you can be against police corruption and brutality and still be pro-police. But it needs to be explained.
I'm an abolitionist. I'm completely abolish the police, abolish the prison system.
I mean, as much as I hate the police, everything has its place. I'll just say that, like everything has its place. There's some people there honestly, if there were no guardrails, if there was no security force in this country, we're just not conditioned to treat each other well. We're just not, you know what I mean? Like, we have to have the threat.
Transformation of our moral consciousness. That needs to happen. I'm not saying okay, we'll be fine the day the police are gone. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have to promote a moral consciousness within our communities right now, because this crisis is already happening. Like, when I talked about the privatization that happened with the hurricanes, with Katrina in New Orleans, that led to privatization after all of the public schools got demolished. Another thing that happened too is when the police backed out, it became a war zone. It became people conflicting with one another because there was no moral consciousness. There was no organization. We can see now, it's not just skew corrupt police. The police union in LA was taking a vote on police not being able to be part of gangs, and the police union shot it down. A majority of the cops in LA said should still be allowed to have gangs. And most of these gangs were white supremacist ones.
Right.
Most of these gangs had ties with the far right. And so if over 55% of LA police officers are against abolishing police organization within gangs, that means over 50% of the cops are corrupt in that city. So it's not just a few. No.
I'm with you on that.
Builds poor character. But there's also one other comment I want to bring up. I'm sorry that I go on these rants like this, especially because it doesn't work in this liberal versus Republican framework. I know. But the one other comment I saw, someone said, we don't have hoods no more. When you were talking about the hoods, always been violent, have always worked as what they are is colonies. Those are internal colonies in America. That's the point of hoods and reservations. But he's somewhat right. There is less hoods now because there is currently in a dispersal order. What happened to the native people when the white man first came here is what's happening to Black and Latino people right now. America has decided to gentrify the inner cities and spread communities into suburbs to be isolated or thrown into prison. There is not much of a hood anymore. A bunch of them are becoming gutted out, and then people are getting locked away into isolated suburbs without their former community anymore. There is still some ghettos, still some hoods, but it's not like how it used to be. Right now, Black and Latino people are getting boxed up into little suburbs away from any sense of community that once existed.
I invite you to come to Philadelphia sometime.
Well, there still is some But think about gentrification ever since the 80s. The historically black neighborhoods, like in like South St. Paul, like Frogtown, don't exist anymore. They don't. They're not as strong as they used to be. There is still, you know, some black hoods in major cities, but we see the gentrification process purposely breaking up black communities, purposely breaking up Latino communities, purposely breaking up Chinese communities. There is.
I don't know about Chinese communities.
It's also a reorganization of whole groups of people.
Well, what the target of gentrification is with people who don't own their homes. Like you can easily gentrify an area where people don't own, where there's no ownership. Ownership is the direct enemy and defense of gentrification. Because if you own your properties and you don't sell, and you are up on your tax and you're current on your taxes, then there is no gentrification. And that's what's happening. That's what has happened to black communities. Like most of us rent. We don't own our homes. So when you don't own your homes, you don't have any stake in the politics of your neighborhood. They don't have to come to you to ask for zoning for certain businesses to come in, like a dispensary or liquor store or a gun shop. They don't have to ask you that if you're only a renter. But if you're a homeowner, they do have to ask. So if you decide to not be politically involved, like not go to your town your town meetings and your community meetings and things like that, where you don't know what's going on, that's on you. But
there's more advanced ways of politics, though. Like they can't kick you out when you have a renters union. When everyone in your apartment complex is all, nah, fuck that. We need these demands to be met.
Yeah, the landlord can't kick you out. The landlord can't kick you out, but you don't have any way of controlling what comes in. It's not about whether you can get kicked out or not. You can't control what comes in. What's coming in is the problem, not you being put out. As long as you pay your rent, you're not being put out. But you don't have any power to keep certain element, whether it's dangerous or not, out when you are a renter. And that's whether you're unionized or not.
I mean, you control the increase of your rent when you have a renters union, you know? Like that,
yeah, but that's a personal thing. You don't control anything in the community. The community is what matters.
Say the workplace is also unionized. Say Amazon is unionized. Say that Starbucks is unionized. McDonald's, all of these places. If you have control inside of your workplace and where your property, where you lay your head, even if it's not your property, if you have at least control over those things, then
homeowners
power in your life.
Homeowners have control over their domain, over the neighborhood. Renters don't. I just need you to understand that fact. Unions can control. Unions can control the benefits and the salary of their members. That's it. They can't control what goes on across the street. They can't control any competition coming in. They can only control what goes on between in the four walls of where they work. Nothing else. Homeowners can control things outside of their four walls. That's what I'm trying to.
People inside of renting can still control a little bit. It takes a lot more.
No, they can't.
In New York City and Harlem.
They have no power. They have nothing.
How they help prevent gentrification? Hear me out. How they help prevent gentrification is they had every renter on that street litter every day. Throw trash outside. Go tag buildings. Go lower property values. Make it unaccessible for businesses to come in. Make it undesirable. There's other ways to resist that are very unique.
All right. Okay, listen. I gotta take two more callers, and we're running out of time. So I gotta let you go. But listen, once again, I appreciate you calling in, and I definitely want you to call in again. You're a good guy. But I just, we just gotta keep it moving this time. But I'm gonna hit you back on the next one. Make sure you come back through. And thank you.
Can I say a last thing? Can I say it just like a close?
Now I gotta go. I only got like 10 minutes left in the show.
Closing mark.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. There is no winner in these debates. There's only a loser, the American people. I just hope that people start taking care of each other, organizing with each other in any capacity that they have, start growing their own food, start caring for one another, and stop playing the game by their rules. Start living life and start loving more. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. All right. Let's move it on. And the caller's good, man. He's good. It's just that, hey, man, hey, money runs shit in government. That's it. It's all about the money. I may not love the way the system works, but once you understand how the system works, then you can work within the system. It's going to be very hard to win a game that you are playing if you don't know the rules. Once you understand the rules, then you can go about increasing your skills in order to do well in the game if you choose to play it. In the debate tonight, I think that there was a clear winner. I think that Kamala Harris beat him. I think she beat him decisively and really quite easily. I've never seen Trump on his heels like that. He was bitching. He turned his orange ass red. He was very red. I was like, what happened to the orange? You know what I mean? Somebody get a tanning lamp over here. All right, caller with the last number 7797. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. What's on your mind tonight? Talk to me.
What's going on, big bro? This is Troy D's on the building.
Word up. This is what we're going to do. All right, what's up, man? What's up? Who did you see the debate tonight?
Just give me 5 minutes. I know you busy. I know we running through this, right?
That's what's up.
First and foremost, right? The last caller, I respect some of the things he said, but there will never be a black nationalist society because America will know that we're too powerful for that. They will break that down real quick. So then what happened to Marcus Garvey, look what happened to Malcolm, look what happened to Martin. Things like that will never happen. So let's stop it. But what I am going to say is, Kamala won the debate. I just don't understand what did we need? What was the debate about? Because when I hear people say Trump this and Trump that, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to African Americans or Americans of African descent. Mm-hmm. I just want to understand: do we accept racism? So, because I was told, I had this one guy, African American man, say to me that he's not racist. He gives to black people. So you mean to tell me a white man can't give to black people and still be racist? It's bothersome to me that we accept racism. We accept ignorance and disrespectfulness, right? We accept so much, childishness from an elderly man that want to run this country. What happened to the morals? When we teach our children what we were taught, and we accept it. We sit there, we want to talk about money, the economy, this, that, and other. But African Americans, we always know how to deal with the economy. We were taught that since our humble beginning, since slavery. We always knew how to deal with the economy. We always know how to keep food on the table when hardship comes. My mom always said, as long as you got a case of chicken in the back of the table, you always got a meal. My people always told me that.
Okay.
But I'm trying to understand at what point are we willing to accept the racist rhetoric and the low morals? Because the person that's part of this country should at least have a little bit of morals.
I guess it depends on what you call morals, because I mean,
well, let's just break it down like this.
Listen. I've heard people call Trump a godly man. I'm like, and a lot of people, I'm like, a what? He's a godly man. I'm like, that's like calling a chicken a fish. Like I'm telling you, he can swim. This chicken can swim. I'm telling you, this chicken can swim.
My thing is this. If my father was in my house when I was growing up, and he's going to install things in me, I'm going to listen to him. So when Trump's father say, "I will never rent the niggas," I'm pretty sure he listened to him. You know, and for him and his father to be seen 3 times by the government because he never rented them properties to African Americans, we know when he's saying that. We know when he stood at when they went through, when the Sister First Five went through, when they went through, and he never apologized for it. We knew he stood at when he asked Barack Obama for his birth certificate. During slavery, if a slave got off the plantation and slave brothers found it, they asked him for what? His papers. Same thing as a birth certificate. So we accept this and we put him in a part of well, he's not that bad, or he's giving us money, or he's a business. He doesn't have business acumen when you sit back and you go bankrupt 7 times.
That part.
Who suffers through the bankruptcy? The little people, the plumbers, the carpenters, the drapers, people that do the drapes. Everybody, the little small people.
Right.
Don't sit up here and say, you break them top down, are the ones that suffer through the bankruptcy. Middle America. So when you sit back, and then you sit back and you say, morally, we sit back and teach our kids what's right and wrong. Let's not be racist. Don't say that out your mouth. Don't act this way. Don't act this way. And then we sit back and we look at the TV and we see this man making fun of, a person that has some type of artistic problem. We still make fun of. It says, well, I like people that don't get caught by about John McCain.
Yeah, that part.
You see what I'm saying? You see him demoralize the people that fought with his country. And then you sit back and we condone that ignorance. And then you say, let me practice it again.
All right. No, check it out. All right, just hold on. We're gonna bring the other caller on. You just sit tight, because you now you done started going. All right, hold on. Caller with the last number is 9223. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight? What's good? Talk to me.
Hey, I just wanted to call in and say that I really appreciate hearing both sides of the rhetoric. I'm not gonna lie. I've talked to a lot of people that have been down and out, trying to put their lives back together. And there's a lot of us that didn't really feel as though they actually even understood who they would vote for.
90 seconds.
I'll keep it short.
You good?
I'm kind of feeling kind of guilty because a lot of people are opinionated, and I've been trying so hard to just put my life back together and stay on the good side of life that I haven't even given this any kind of thought. And I'm one of those people that if you asked me who I was going to vote for, I would probably deflect and just tell you that I haven't really thought about it. And the only reason why I was calling was because there's a lot of people who know exactly which way they're going to vote. I was one of those people, and there might be a couple of people lurking in the audience who maybe feel the same way, where I really have no idea which way I'm going. I haven't ever thought about it. I've been so busy trying to make a lot of positive impacts in my own life that when it comes to this, it really just goes over my head. And I just wanted to tell you that your show is interesting because listening to you talk to different sides of the story and then taking my call where if you're asking me if I'm going to vote, I can tell you, most of the time I'll just tell people, yeah, I'm going to vote. But if I'm being honest, I'm probably going to leave it blank. And I've been having a hard time trying to figure out which way things are going to go and how it's going to affect my life. And I just wanted to say I really appreciate you giving people from different sides of the lane an opinion. And I think there's also a percentage of people who are probably just trying to pick up the pieces, and they might not have even looked into this. And I know that I'm one of those people who is often discredited, and I don't blame people for getting upset with me being honest about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I just figured your show is a pretty good place for me to be honest about it. I'm gonna leave it blank. I'm not actually gonna vote for someone, and the only reason is because I'm not smart enough to take enough time. Maybe it's just my own issues with time management and not looking up the issues, but being able to talk to people on a platform like this is kind of interesting because there might be some people who kind of feel the same way that I do. And I just wanted to say I appreciate you taking my call, and I'm going to let you get back to getting to the right and the left. But it was just interesting to me because I ended up admitting to myself that that's where I fall short. I haven't given myself enough time to even figure out a formulated opinion and how to express it through a vote. And that's something that I'm kind of embarrassed about. And when I hear people being so opinionated about it, it's really embarrassing to admit that that's the category that I fall into. And I just wanted to say thank you. I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to the other caller. But
all right, well,
I just wanted to give you at least another side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are right or left, but then I realized I was like, this is kind of messed up because I realized I'm part of the problem. I'm not able to even explain if I'm going one way or the other.
No, you're not part of the problem. A lot of people are undecided. And honestly, even the debate tonight didn't sway some people who are undecided. They polled a lot of people. I saw some shows and some interviews after the debate where they were asking people who were undecided before the debate, were they feeling differently, or had they made a decision, or was it easier for them to make a decision one way or another after the debate? And most of them said no, they were still undecided. So what may resonate with someone to convince them with one person may be different than what resonates to convince somebody else, which means that there's a variety of people out here who are looking for some things that may not be on board with everything that's going on out here. And you don't have to feel ashamed about not being super involved with everything that's going on in politics, because it gets messy. And really, you may have your own lives to live. And when we're talking about a presidential election in the first place, even though this is the one that most of us become involved in, the president has less impact on our lives directly than your local politicians do. It would actually be smarter for most people to concentrate on local politics that directly affect them rather than national politics. But national politics gets the bigger stage. You know what I mean? It's like the difference between it's the difference between, I don't know if you have ever gone to a concert, but if you ever go to a concert in a small venue and you hear the acoustics of the place, and the singer or the band can see you directly, you get a connection with that band, and you may really start to like that performer. Whereas you go to let's say a Beyonce concert in a big stadium, a big open stadium, and it's 80,000 people there, you're barely going to hear the music in its purity. You're definitely not going to see everything, depending on the angle where you are and where your seat is, but you may still enjoy it. So of course that big concert is going to cost you more money to go, and you may have a less personal experience, but you may still support that that big venue because you're part of a bigger thing than that small venue that hardly got as much promotion, but that you really enjoyed yourself in, and that you were actually more affected in. So there's nothing to be ashamed of in that. By being undecided. One thing that people should understand is that a lot of people come to these programs and they talk about politics and stuff like that, and many of them don't even vote. A lot of people who talk about who's better and who's better for the country and stuff like that, a lot of them aren't even registered voters. So they're talking a lot, but they're not even really part of the process. And in national politics, nobody knows. Like, you can be a registered Democrat and still vote for a Republican. It doesn't matter.
It's just nice.
It's
nice
your
to
choice.
be able to talk to someone
Yeah.
about, being at work and then getting grilled by both sides about why I'm not participating. It's been a little frustrating because most of the time I just want to tell people I have way too much baggage in my life to be a part of the process to decide how the country should be run.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to try and tell someone who the president should be, I would be in the wrong because I'm still trying to figure out my own life, and calling in and being able to talk about that was kind of refreshing because anytime I'm at work, there's so many people divided right now, and I'm trying my best to just make my life a positive impact in the community, and it's frustrating for me because I'm not able to reciprocate a lot of the passion and a lot of the thought that they put into who they want to run the country. And I'm someone who lives in that country, and if I'm being honest, it's the most frustrating part is I haven't decided, what's worth my opinion when it comes to talking to other people. And when I listen to your talk show, so many people are so opinionated, it just makes me kind of want to close up even more. But I decided to call because I feel comfortable enough talking to you about being honest, about being one of those people who really just doesn't. I'm just not at the point where I can express that opinion because there's just too much stuff going on in the background, and that's for my own life, and I'm not going to put that on one of my coworkers who's expressing their opinions about how they feel about things. And if I bring something up specifically, then it becomes a talking point, and I just really don't want to divulge my open life, and I just kind of want to fix myself before I start getting involved into who should be decided to run the country. So I just wanted to say thank you for taking my call, taking the time to hear me out, and I didn't want to waste too much time because most of the people want to keep it short and sweet. So I'll definitely be lurking in your chat, and I'll always try to call in whenever I can. I talked to you the other day.
Yeah, I remember you. You're a good guy. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well taking my call. And if there's anybody else who's kind of feeling the same way, I don't have any advice about that. I've been feeling guilty about it the whole time. So hopefully everybody else finds their own way, because I'm definitely not the one to tell people which way to go or how to find it out. So thank you again, and I wish you a wonderful night.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. You have a good night too. All righty. Good stuff all around. Good stuff all around. Good stuff. All right. We got to get on up out of here. We've been here for a little bit over 2 hours. I don't know about y'all, but regardless of who won this debate tonight, I got to go to work tomorrow. How about that? How about that? So, maybe, as these politicians pulling all of this money while they're debating and they're getting all these donations, I got to go to work tomorrow. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do these birthday shout outs, and then we're going to get on up out of here. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious September 10th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Let's see what we got here. Number one out the box, Antoine Lindsay, happy birthday to you. And also Stephanie Sanders, happy birthday. And Diggs Richburg, happy birthday. And Thomas Gartney, happy birthday to you. And Ruth Almonte, happy birthday. And Oltan Amalayo Ayo Demiji, happy birthday to you. And my girl Cicely Carr, happy birthday to you. And she's raising money for the Creative Wellness Project. All right. And my man, going all the way back to the 1991, my man, Eshawn Wilson. Maybe it was 1992. And last but not least, Tracy McKinnon Pickens. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious September 10th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, I don't care what y'all say. Kamala tore that boy a new asshole. I've never seen Trump on his heels before. But do debates win elections? Do they sway elections? Well, all of that remains to be seen. We won't know who truly won until November 5th, and more than likely November 6th. Or there'll be another January 6th if November 5th doesn't go right for somebody with the initials DJT. But anyway, listen, man, you know, whether Trump won, whether Kamala Harris won, you know, you can win the battle and still lose the war. The war still goes on. Will they have another debate? I don't know. Honestly, if I was Donald Trump, I wouldn't debate her again. I don't think that tonight painted him in his most positive light. But I also don't think that it makes a difference with his followers. I don't think that there's anyone who was a Trump supporter or a MAGA supporter who said, I'm not supporting MAGA anymore after this debacle. No, he'll still have his followers and you know, his troops are marching on. Now, will it be enough? Because I believe that both sides will probably raise a lot more money after this debate. Kamala Harris has been, I don't know anybody who has raised more money in the amount of time that she's been campaigning. This thing is crazy. It really is. This thing is crazy. And normally, not all the time, but normally whoever makes the most money during a campaign normally wins. And not just because they're buying the election, but because when you are getting enough money to be able to run your campaign, you can actually focus on campaigning, making campaign stops, rallies, making sure that you get out to know the people. You can concentrate on advertising and ads and things like that, instead of having to do a lot of fundraising. Fundraising It's very, very time consuming, and it keeps you off the campaign trail because you don't have enough money to be able to run your campaign successfully. She won't have to worry about anything. She has raised enough money and will have even more money coming in to just be able to go and make all of the campaign stop so she can hopefully make an impact in areas where she probably wouldn't even get a good look. But still, November 5th has to come and people have to go into the voting booth. There's nothing that's saying that she's going to do better in the polls or that she's going to win. It's still a very close race. And I believe personally that it will be close all the way until the end. But how close will it be? How close will it be? That remains to be seen. I want to thank y'all for coming on through. Yes, I do. I want to thank you for coming on by, coming through this thing and saying hi. I want to thank you for writing in the chat. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I want to thank y'all for coming through the channel, heating up this bitch like flannel in the summertime. Flannel in the summertime, just like July. What's hotter than July, my guy? I don't know, but I still feel fly every time I get in front of the cam, so you know who I am. It ain't about me. We was talking about the POLICTICS, and you understand that I'm the best. Well, maybe not the best, but I compete with the rest. Everything is going to be okay. We talked about who won the debate tonight. Today, we're going to move to another sub. Speaking of sub, I hope that you sub. Yeah, give the like a rub. Only 56 like. What the hell? Well, sometimes it be like that, but I can't tell. Everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be okay. I appreciate you coming on through. Hope you do it another day. We on 7 days a week, 5 nights, 2 days, purple haze. Yes, crazy. Yeah, we get this thing popping and on. Everything is going to be all right. You know it's so. All right, y'all. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another Daily Go Getimism show. We won't be talking about politics tomorrow, but we'll be talking about something real good. And I mean real good. But I appreciate y'all coming through. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we have a good time around here. So I can disrobe. It's time for me to clock out of my job here. Let me let y'all take off your uniform too. And you're good. For those of you who didn't know that you were clothed, who didn't know, this was you earlier in the show. This is you. You know, we all rock the cow beads. All rock the cow bones. Cow bones. All right, y'all. I want y'all to have a good night. Blog Talk, we gotta get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. I'm gonna take the mic off and everything. All right. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Peace.